Stream. Add to stream. Add to stream. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ambassadorial Wing. And I am obviously your host, the Ambassador, and tonight we are going to cover the films of one of the greats of all time, Mel Brooks. And with me tonight, I have got Nobody Geek Jesse and Brian Hill, Master of None. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight, and glad you could join me for this evening. We'll have a few more people coming in shortly. So glad y'all could be here. Hope y'all are doing well. I know there's some storms moving around and everything, the states and everything this evening. So hope y'all are staying safe. Hope y'all are not going crazy with the quarantine and what have you. So guys, how y'all faring?
Pretty good.
So,
hey, give me time to catch up on things.
Yeah, I think that's true for everybody. So, yeah, but tonight we are going to pay our. Well, we're gonna spend a couple hours and everything. We're trying to talk about another great filmmaker, a guy that's brought everybody a lot of laughter and a lot of joy into our lives. Mel Brooks. This is a man who has had a career that has spanned decades, and he has won awards back and forth. He's won Oscars, he's won Tonys, he's won Emmys. You name it, he's probably won it. Emmys, you name it, he's probably won it. And following up with John Carpenter from last week, I figured, as the old saying goes, laughter is the best medicine. And who makes people laugh more than Mel Brooks in his movies? So, guys, thank you all again for being here. It really means a lot and everything. If y'all hear some thunder on my end, do not worry. We are fine. Just got some thunderstorms moving through, so it is all good here. I know we're waiting on one other person, but we'll go ahead and get started. When he gets here, he'll get here and everything, and we'll let him do his intro, and we'll do our thing. But we're gonna kind of start off anything with some all-time favorites, and then we'll go into some more obscure entries in Mel Brooks' film career. Although all of his movies are relatively great, but there are just some that are more well-known, and then obviously there are some that are a little more obscure, ones that people haven't seen all that much. But we'll start off anything, guys. Where you want to begin?
I'll get started. All-time classic, man. Go with Spaceballs.
Oh yes, yeah. We can definitely cover Spaceballs, absolutely. So, yeah, honestly, this is not just a great. It's a great spoof of all sci-fi movies ever, and I have got this on Blu-ray, and I've gotten an opportunity to watch it numerous times. I've watched it numerous times throughout my childhood, and I think this is one of Mel Brooks' more quotable films or anything. Although all of his films are extremely quotable, but honestly, Spaceballs, even the soundtrack, Spaceballs, watch out, watch out, watch out. And you've got a really good cast with this. You've got obviously Rick Moranis. You've got Bill Pullman, Daphne Zuniga. You've got the voice of Joan Rivers, the late John Candy. It is just this movie. It tickles your funny bone in all the right ways. Of course, that's true of all of Mel Brooks' films. To be perfectly candid, all of his movies tickle your funny bone, and it just. I know some people think that Spaceballs is extremely campy, but honestly, it is. But it is just. It's one of those films. If you've had a really crappy day at work, you come home, you put it in the Blu-ray or whatever type of player, and you just it makes you laugh, it makes you smile, it just makes you feel better. True. It's like the analogy people have made. about Mel Brooks. He's like that quacky Jewish uncle that just makes you laugh. So, guys, your thoughts on Spaceballs?
Oh, so for me, Spaceballs, I am pretty confident that that was actually the first Mel Brooks movie I ever saw. I am fairly confident of that. It just kind of stands out as I wouldn't have known anything about it. Mel Brooks at the time, and I remember watching it, and I was a big sci-fi person. As Ambassador, I've told you, my grandmother really grew me up on classic science fiction horror, which when we talk about Young Frankenstein, I got some things to say about that. But the movie just blended so many funny ways of having your Han Solo, your Chewbacca screwing with Star Wars, Disneyland. It was also the first, I think, not just a comedy, but probably one of the first parodies I'd ever seen. I had never seen a parody of a movie before. So I didn't quite, as a young kid, I found the movie funny, but sorry, but I didn't quite get what the jokes were. I knew what Star Trek was very well, Star Wars less so much, and quite frankly, almost every other reference in the movie from the point get until probably 10, 15 years later when I saw it again, and it was like, oh, I've seen all those movies now. Now I get the jokes, you know. But even then, it was still funny, and it was just a joy to watch. And I think it was actually the first time I saw a science fiction comedy. I had not seen, Mystery Science Theater 3000 didn't exist yet, and I think Red Dwarf existed, but good luck if it did at that time. I don't think we got it in America. So a science fiction comedy was, back at that time, an almost unheard of thought of. I don't even think it even existed. So it was a very different take, and I wish more people appreciate it. My wife even said she doesn't even like it. She just didn't find it funny.
A great movie.
Yeah, Brian, your thoughts?
Well, where to start? Michael Winslow. He lost the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
Just the references, like Jesse was saying. We've been jammed.
There's only one person who dare jam me. Lone Star. Ow.
I like that.
I gotta admit, it is one of the most quotable movies, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Hey, you guys want to hear something funny? Brian, just let me know this. I actually, when I moved to South Carolina after I got stationed here as my last assignment, my boss, I kid you not, was named. I literally did everything I met it.
That's awesome. But no, as far as Spaceballs goes, I mean, my first Mel Brooks movie was Men in Tights. I was a kid. I was a little kid in '94.
Oh man, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. We're men.
I saw
Men in
Spaceball
Tights. Always on guard. Sorry, I know that song way too well.
You've got to be a man to wear tights.
Yeah.
But,
go ahead, Brian.
Just the quotability of that movie, the lasting quality of it. I heard some rumors when Force Awakens came back that they were talking about making the Schwartz Awakens, which I don't know about you, but I'd pay real good money for.
I would have paid money to, yeah, I would have paid money to see that. But honestly, I don't think, or even, hopefully, we'll see each other again at Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. You got, and here's the crazy thing. I think it was Mel Brooks went to George Lucas and said, "Hey, we're going to poke fun at Star Wars. Are you good with this?" And he's like, "We're going to be using something similar to the lightsabers. Are you good with that too?" And Lucas was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't care." I mean, it was brilliant.
ILM did the special effects in that movie.
I know. Yeah, ILM did the effects for the movie. It was just like Lucas was not a very thin-skinned individual, more or less, and he loved a good joke. And this movie, as Jess and Brian, as you've mentioned already, this movie, it has so many references. You've got references to Planet of the Apes. You've got references to Alien. You've got references to Transformers, the movie. Because think about where they got the idea for Mega Maid. From Transformers, the movie with the giant Transformer planet, Unicron. That's where they got the idea for Mega Maid. Orson Welles, who did the voice of Unicron.
Unicron, yeah. No,
yeah, Orson Welles did the voice.
That.
Yeah, well, Orson Welles' real claim to fame is not so much Unicron; it's Citizen Kane, obviously. But yeah, there is so many great references. I mean, even that long tracking shot of Spaceball 1 is a direct spoof of the tracking shot from Alien. We break for no one.
No one.
Absolutely, positively no one. And I just...
When the jumps out of him.
Well, oh crap. When the world is that? Oh no. It's Spaceball. Well, there goes the planet. And even the makeup for the apes and everything at the end there is actually pretty good. No, Spaceballs. This movie has lasted as long as any other movie I've talked about on my channel. I mean, it's lasted as long as Fifth Element or as Galaxy Quest and all the other stuff I've discussed. But I think this is honestly one of Mel Brooks's best, and everybody in the film just did a top-notch job. I think the other thing is it has such a great supporting cast too, particularly with the actor who plays Colonel Sanders. What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? And Mel Brooks both as Scroob and as Yogurt. You mean the Force? No, I mean the Schwartz. I wish I had a Schwartz ring. I really did.
Oh man.
I found it in a Cracker Jack box. It's in you, the ambassador. The Schwartz is in you. Sorry, you walked into that one, buddy.
That's a good one. Oh, and one other villain. Pizza the Hut. Oh, it's Lone Star and his sidekick, Puke. That's Barf Pizza. Barf, Puke, whatever.
And Benny was a reference to Max Headroom.
Well, yeah, he was a reference to Max Headroom, but he was also a reference to an old pizza franchise that went out of business several years ago, Godfather's Pizza. I don't know if that...
Oh, yeah, their pizza sucked. I hated Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it was awful.
Blasphemy.
Hey.
How dare you?
Hey, I'm telling you, I had it. It was garbage.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it was worse.
Unlike this movie.
Now, I see a San Francisco thing there. I think he knows good pizza because Brian probably knows. Let me ask what was that pizza place I loved back in California? Round Table? Yeah. Round Table. Yes.
Yeah. All 100%.
So is Roundtable still good stuff?
For the most part. For the most part.
Okay, just checking.
Brian and Jeff B. Hey, thank you for hopping in, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, Spaceball. I just feel like I'm going to sit here for the next 20 minutes and quote
brothers, nephews,
sisters, cousins, former roommate. What does that make you to me? Absolutely nothing, which is what you're about to become. Except it's Rick Moranis saying the lines and not James Earl Jones.
Yes, but that's what makes it so great. He is the exact opposite of a James Earl Jones
or David
Darth Vader type of character. He's just awesome.
Oh, Halo Dark Helmet.
I mean, the whole.
I'm on best friend.
Hello. Hey, my favorite is still the what was it? The careful, you idiot. Sorry, sir. I'm doing my best. Who made that guy? Gunner. What's his name?
I did, sir.
He's an asshole.
You can.
I know that. What's his name? Asshole, sir.
Major asshole.
Philip Asshole.
Philip Asshole. How many assholes we got on this ship?
I knew it.
No.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by
That's it. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Stories, good evening. Thank you for coming on. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm hanging in there. My voice is coming back.
Yeah, you do. I'm glad you're feeling better. So, we're just talking. We just got started a few minutes ago. We're talking Spaceballs. So, your thoughts on this Mel Brooks classic?
I love it. The oversized head for Rick Moranis' character kills me every time.
I know.
I'm like Darth bobblehead.
He was the proto bobblehead before there were bobbleheads.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if they ever did a Pop bobblehead.
They wouldn't have to do much.
I know. I know. Don't ever put that mask. Don't ever have that mask down around me. I don't know what your face you're making when you're with that face. And then he lifts up the mask. He's going.
Yeah, he's like, never have that damn thing down in front of me again. I don't know, you're not making faces at me, sir.
And okay, we've got to talk about the father, Dick Van Patten.
Oh yeah,
King Roland of Planet Druidia.
Oh God,
the Druid.
And if you can, try and save the car.
Try and save the car.
Okay, I did not use that reference, but I think a few of my Jewish friends did. I never put the two and two together until now.
Well, even a non-Jewish person would say that if they paid that much money for a car like that. Say, my daughter, and if you can, try and save the car.
Save the car.
Oh, and Joan Rivers as Dot Matrix.
Oh God!
And the crazy thing was, it was an actress who was in the suit, but Joan Rivers came in and dubbed the voice for Dot Matrix. And she's like, one of her catchphrases, Joan Rivers from back in the day when she had her talk show or whatever was, "Can we talk?"
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was actually one of the funniest parts of the end of Look Who's Talking Part 1.
I love it. No, unfortunately, Jeff B, I don't think Chris Tucker was alive at the time when this movie was made. I don't think he was, but that's We were told to come to the desert, so we're coming to the desert. Have y'all found anything? No, sir. Have y'all found anything? Not a thing, sir. What about you? What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
You know who that was, right? That was Tim Russ.
Was
They're
it really?
using an
That
actual
was Tim
comb
Russ.
while they're doing
Yeah,
No way.
that was Tim Russ, the guy who plays Tuvok and DS9, and yeah,
Huh.
that was Tim Russ.
I'll be darned. I honestly did not know that. Okay. Well, thank you. That's good. That's a good tip. Good tip. Yeah, the story is it's fairly linear. You can follow it, you can understand, but it's got so many just references and jokes and spoofs and everything else in it. But Mel Brooks and the people who wrote this movie, they knew what the heck they were doing. I mean, they did. They really did. They knew what the heck they were doing. So this movie was really, it was truly a labor of love for this cast and this crew. And you get the sense that everybody was bringing their A game. And like I said, I've watched the special features on this. I've done some extra research. From what I have heard, this was a fun set. This really was a fun set. I mean, they got their work done, but everybody was they were busting their butts to make the best possible movie that they could make. And they delivered on this one. They absolutely did. They absolutely delivered on this one.
Hey, I got a question. What do you think they had to? How do you think this was pitched to John Hurt to say, "Hey, can you come back and let us bust a alien out of your chest again and have it dance across the floor?" I'm like, okay.
We'll get to it. We'll get to this. Fun
this.
fact: this is not the only time that John Hurt has appeared in a Mel Brooks film, but we'll get to it in a little while.
Yes, I found that out on my own recently.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, that's an interesting take, and everybody's and Lone Star and Barf are like, what did he have? I think.
He had the special. Change my order to the soup.
Check, please. And then, of course, you get the fortune cookie, and it's a hologram of yogurt. And he's like, "You're a certified prince." And you're just like, "Oh, okay." Really, so that's what that all said. That's what that says.
I think the best part of the whole movie was the end of it when it's like the count says 10, 9, 8, 6. What happened to 7? Just kidding.
Yeah, the self-destruct.
3,
the self-destruct voice.
1. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Thanks. And that had to be one of the funniest moments ever. 6,
yeah,
whatever. 7, just kidding. I'm sorry. It was just one of the comic golds of that movie.
Yeah, I know. Well, not to mention the bear, the person in the bear suit that gets into one of the escape pods and just waves, bye. And the rest of them are Scroob and Colonel Sanders and Dark Helmet are left there on the bridge of Spaceballs 1 / Mega Maid. Mega Maid's gone from. Go ahead.
Suck the blow. But no. When they're like, they go down as like, this ship will self-destruct in 1 minute. This is your last chance to push the cancellation button. And they get out of order. Even in the future, nothing works. I was like, that would be.
Yep. That would be just
look,
about
I'm gonna
right.
Tell you right now, as we discuss this on, I hated the late 90s, early 2000s, those Scream movies, Scary Movie, whatever, Epic movie.
Scream movies.
Those parodies, yeah, those parodies that were so god-awful. And I used to say, I want to take these people, lock them in a room, and make them watch Mel Brooks movies.
Yes, because that's how you do a spoof.
Exactly.
That is how you do a spoof. Mel Brooks was a master at spoof comedy. Absolute master. Come at me.
Mm-hmm.
Come at me. Mel Brooks was a master at spoof comedy. Nobody can ever top him, except for maybe the guys that did the airplane movies. But that was only 2. But even those are great. I cannot lie.
I'll put him on a similar level, but
I would agree.
I'm going to give Mel Brooks a 1-up on him.
I would too. Yeah. But yeah, anything else we want to say about Spaceballs before we move on?
May the Schwartz be with you.
And with you. Stories. Favorite Mel Brooks movie? You want to pick the next one? Or anything for us to discuss?
Well, I heard you guys going into Men in Tights by the time when I was finally able to get on.
Okay. Well, we can do Men in Tights.
There's also
Yeah, I'm good.
let me double check myself here. No, go ahead.
No, I'm good with talking Men in Tights. I mean, it's a spoof of Robin Hood.
Yes, I love it.
We're men.
The legend had it coming.
Manly men. I can't go high pitched.
Always on guard to defend the people's rights. Come on, guys, help me out here. We're men. We're men in tights.
What you
We
say?
love the rich and give to the poor. That's right. We may look like panties. Watch what you say, or else we'll put out your lights. We're men. We're men in tights. Always on guard to defend the people's rights.
Yeah.
Okay, we all know the song, and we'd have no
Dave Chappelle movie.
Say one more time, Brian.
Unlike some other Robin Hoods, he could speak with an English accent.
Good accent.
He was also
well, not
in
to
The
mention
Princess
it's
Bride.
Carrie Yules, and we know what other movie Carrie Yules is famous for.
Yeah, Princess Bride.
The Princess
Yep.
Bride.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
And just
Yeah,
to make sure you know, remember, he was in Saw, the original Saw.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, he was in the first one. Yeah, I remember. But I don't care. I'm
must
sorry.
say-
I never could get into those films. I just couldn't. They just
Oh,
weren't
I
interesting.
am
to
not
me.
trying to bring this up. We don't have to go into those.
Oh, I
yeah, I
know.
was about to say, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not into that kind of genre.
Unnecessary gore.
So, but yeah, Men in Tights. You have another great cast. You've got Carrie Yules. You've got Richard Lewis. I forget who played the sheriff of Rottingham in this one, but he was absolutely wonderful too. You had Cloris Leachman as Latrine. You had
Patrick Stewart as
Patrick
King
Stewart make a
Richard.
cameo at the end, just like Sean
Yeah.
Connery did in the one with
This
what's
is
his
the
face?
first movie I think I ever saw. God, now why can't I? Dave Chappelle. This is, I think, the first time I ever saw
Yeah, Dave Chappelle as a sneeze. No,
As- no,
Isaac
a chew.
Hayes was a sneeze. Yeah, he was a chew. He's
Yeah.
he's heads.
Achoo,
You very
yeah.
brave for you very brave for a not homeboy. Yeah, because you've got Isaac Hayes and Carrie Yules there, and he's like, "When you get back to England, look up my son. He is Sneeze, son of a chew. He's very headstrong and cocksure. Or is it the other way around?"
Or is it the other way around?
Shea, are you okay? We'll get to Blazing Saddles next. We will absolutely get to Blazing Saddles next.
I think one of my other favorite character in there was well, who was it? The one that played the blind
Blinken.
guy. Blinken. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
Blinken. Did you say Abe? Did you say Abe? Did you say Abe Lincoln? I said no. Abe Lincoln. Hold on to the dang horse. And it was a sneak. It was a chew.
Wait a minute. H&R Blocklet, this is a ship. Robin Hood, you're back from the Crusades? Yes. And alive. Yeah. Oh, they took the castle.
But you lost your arms in battle. But you grew some good.
Nice.
But you
Ooh.
moves. and he's touching the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Men in Tights. Men in Tights is just.
Pantyhose.
What was that, just?
And the whole tragedy of everybody around him dying.
I know.
The
My
plague.
cat. My cat choked on the goldfish.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Shaya.
We don't eat no rolls.
We don't get no tolls. We don't eat no rolls.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the guy who played
Little
Bear
John.
in American Wedding
Oh yeah.
played Little
How
John.
about the fact that the
I
guy
don't
who
think there
played,
was no Will Scarlet.
how about the fact that
Yes,
the
there
guy
was
who
a Will
played-
Scarlet.
How about the guy who
Was
played
there?
Will Scarlet
Yes.
in this movie actually played Robin Hood in a actual TV series?
Huh?
Did
Really?
you guys know that the guy who played Will Scarlet did
No, I
play
didn't.
in a Robin Hood TV series as Robin Hood?
Oh, that's funny.
Huh. That is fun.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
back in the 90s. Don't ask me any more about it than that because I can't remember a damn thing. I just
That's
know,
okay.
I'm telling you, it did happen. It did happen. The guy who played it was funny. My name's Will Scott O'Hare. We from Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Georgia.
yeah. There was a Will Scarlet.
Central?
Yeah, yeah. There was a Will Scarlet
Man,
in
what
that
part
film.
of Georgia are you from? South Central?
Oh, and Robin's trying to give this grand epic speech, and he's like, "How did I do?" And a Chew's like, "They're sleeping, man."
Yeah.
A Chew goes
He
into
goes
like
into a
this,
Malcolm X.
like
Malcolm X.
we didn't land on Plymouth Rock, or Sherwood Forest didn't. We didn't land on Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest landed on us.
And like I said, I think this was my first time I ever saw Dave Chappelle in a movie, or even
Yeah,
probably ever heard of him.
yeah, because I don't think he had done anything up until that point. But yeah, getting back to Shay's comment, Robert Reeves as the sheriff of Rottingham. This man had
God.
the worst case of dyslexia I've ever seen in my life, and you almost feel bad for
That boy's hand.
huh?
And that boy. Or he says, over that boy's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
He
that boy.
dared to kill a ding. He dared to kill a king's dare.
He had the Yoda thing going on.
Yeah, except it wasn't exactly Yoda.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, oh man. You know,
And who could forget Broomhild?
oh
And
yeah,
no.
and the horse is like,
what
Rabbi Tuckman,
Pfaffenhookah.
Rabbi,
Pfaffenhookah.
sure you've been into the Sacramento line again. You've a sneak it. I don't like the way you're walking. You've a sneak it. And of course, it's Mel Brooks with his mandatory cameo.
The circumcision part is the best.
Excuse me,
Yes.
so what pray tell is a circumcision? He's like, well, I
It's
take
the
my little,
latest.
I take my
Women
machine, I take a little thing, and I just nip the tip. And then of course, like, ow. Like, ouch, that's painful. I imagine every guy in the theaters that watched that scene were like, I'm glad I got that done when I was born and I couldn't feel it. So, but yeah, and of course you have to remember Maid Marian, played by, I think the girl's name was the actress's name was Yasmin Bleeth
No, Amy
or whatever.
No
Huh?
way. No, it couldn't have been
Amy
that.
Yazbek.
Say that one more time, Brian.
Oh, Amy Yazbek.
Amy Yazbek. Okay, thank you.
She's on
Yeah,
that show,
Amy
Will.
Yazbek. Yeah, yeah. She's like, a chastity belt. It's an Everlast.
It
Yeah.
never rests.
I know. Yeah, it's an Everlast. You see her get out of the tub and everything with Broomhilda and everything, and then of course at the end and everything when when the sheriff, I think, is
Oh, the locksmith.
Yeah, it's called the locksmith.
and then of course he's got call a locksmith. Yeah, that's at the very end. But of course, you've got the sheriff. I think it's the sheriff of Rottingham who's got a jackhammer, and she's like, "I will never submit."
Yep.
Yeah, what about that scene where they sorry.
It's okay.
Damn pollen. I hate when it gets springtime in the south.
Yes.
When he's like, the nut is young and you're so beautiful. B flat. And then I go through that song and all of a sudden they're behind that little thing and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and it's like sword is going, everybody's like, oh, oh. It's like, oh my God. Like, I was this close. I touched it.
Yeah, latrine.
Latrine. Hey, we changed it in the 9th century. Yeah, it used to be shit house.
I know. And Cloris Leachman, once again, she once again, every scene that she's in that movie, she steals the show as latrine. She's like, certain. You want certain? Get yourself a witch. I'm just a
that
cook.
wasn't Leachman. That was Tracy Ullman.
Oh, you're right. That was Tracy Ullman. I am sorry. No. Yeah, it was Tracy Ullman. I thought it was okay. My bad. Yeah, because Cloris Leachman by that point was getting a little bit up there, and it was Tracy Ullman. My bad. Thank you, Stories, for correcting my error. Cloris Leachman comes later. So.
Yeah, Cloris Leachman.
Oh, and to the chat, Finna Wolf, welcome. Glad you can pop in tonight. Hope you're doing okay. Sorry.
I love her name.
Finna Wolf, yeah, she's awesome. Yep. She is a font of useful information. You know what? Finna Wolf, as soon as you pop up here, because I can always use an extra, and you all are altogether awesome. You are now a moderator for the Ambassador.
There you go.
So.
Yay, party.
So, yeah. But yeah, Tracy Ullman, she has a great comedic feel for her, and she's just she was just wonderful in this film and everything. Of course, I do love the part right after they have and Speaker for the Dead, welcome. Thank you for popping in, sir. Yeah. The part and everything right after they've snuck out of the archery tournament. Or even during the archery tournament. He's like,
during the archery tournament was funny. I lost? Wait a minute.
I'm not supposed to lose.
I'm not supposed to lose.
Everybody pulls out a script. Oh, yeah, he's right.
Mel Brooks just had this amazing ability to make comedy out of some of the stupidest things that I don't think anybody other than him could have made funny. I think we would all have actually have smacked our heads and said, okay, that was stupid. But the way he was able to pull it together was just beautiful.
No, Finna Wolf, tonight, you don't have to do anything. Just enjoy the stream. Just enjoy the stream and everything. So, but yeah. Yeah, this was. Can we just give some props to Mel Brooks for picking good cast for his movies? I mean, this was a great cast for Robin Hood Men in Tights, and I think honestly, a lot of these people they said yes because it was an opportunity to work with a legend. It really was. I mean, yeah, it wasn't high cinema when it was Mel Brooks, but it was great comedy. It was a great time, and he had such a great reputation in Hollywood. He really did. He had a great reputation in Hollywood, and he knew how to write funny material. And he just had a string of films throughout his entire career where he just brought it. And all of his stuff was comedic gold. And Men in Tights is just another jewel in his crown of comedy. Let's be honest here. This man was a king. And one instance, he plays a king. We'll get to that one. We will get to that one.
Oh,
yes.
Lord.
I'm assuming Brian's stories
we
you've
better get
seen.
to a couple of these because I took some time yesterday to catch up on a few of those I told you about.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me.
It is storming hardcore outside right now.
Yeah, it is here too. Stories. Don't feel bad.
It's actually pretty chill here.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Hey, we've had our storms a few times.
Yeah. But yeah, any other thoughts or comments y'all want to make on Robin Hood Men in Tights before we move on?
I could talk about Robin Hood Man in
the
Tights all
opening.
day long.
Yeah, but let's
stories?
give some props to that opening. That the shooting of the arrows, the whole thing, and all, they're all and then the villagers are all like, this happens every time they do a Robin Hood movie, and they're Mel Brooks. I mean, that was just like
breaking the fourth wall, man.
which is something Mel Brooks is famous for.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, positively.
And he does. His fourth wall breakings are beautifully done, I think.
Yeah, very much so. They are absolutely right on point. He does such a great job just bringing those fourth wall breaks in, and they're so well done. They're not cringeworthy, because sometimes you can do a fourth wall break and it stinks, but other times you can do a fourth wall break and it absolutely works. And Mel Brooks, go ahead, Jess.
I'm saying before we end on this, we have got to remember Dom DeLuise's role in this movie.
Oh God!
In Men in Tights?
I had the cotton in my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does play Don Giovanni. You're right. Yeah.
All the times to make see. I'm sorry, what is it? I saw I had
cotton in his mouth, which was kind of a callback to The Godfather, because Marlon Brando did actually have cotton in his mouth when he played Don Corleone in the original Godfather.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
neither.
Yeah, to kind of to make his face fuller and to kind of shuffle or stymie, whatever way you want to say it and everything, muffle his voice. Yeah, cotton in his mouth. Cotton balls, I think it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian, why don't you pick the next film for us to cover?
Well, let's talk about, let's say,
could it possibly be this one?
Yeah, we can do that one too.
Okay, this was actually Mel Brooks's, I think, very first film.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You've never seen History of the World Part 1?
I don't think so.
No, you're thinking of the producer was his first.
No, I don't think so.
Well, as a director, we might be thinking some other way.
Okay.
We're talking about the History of the World Part 1, right?
That was first.
Okay. Thank you, Fenna. Appreciate it. But yeah, History of the World Part 1. You've got a narration by Orson Welles. You've got Mel Brooks. You've got Shecky Green. You've got a cameo by B. Arthur. You've got Gregory Hines. You've got Madeline Kahn. You have got, it was Dom DeLuise. You've got John Hurt as Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah. What? Yes. What? Jesus. Forgive me.
Yes. Judas.
What? Are you all together, or is it separate checks? Please be quiet. We're trying. This may be our last supper. I don't remember. Hold on one second, guys. I've got this movie right over here, quite literally. Everything y'all entertain, talk about yourselves. I'll be right back.
Oh, so for me, I literally just saw History of the World Part 1 last night. I watched Young Frankenstein and History of the World Part 1, and I thought I'd seen History of the World Part 1 before, but I had realized I'd only seen, like literally YouTube clips. And I was literally ready to roll off this couch laughing so damn hard.
I was trying to find History of the World Part 2.
They actually have it. It does exist.
What?
It does exist.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. The cast, of course, Mel Brooks, Dom DeLuise, Madeline Kahn, Harvey Korman, Cloris Leachman, Ron Carney, Gregory Hines, Pamela Stevenson, Shecky Green, Sid Caesar, Mary Margaret Hume as Miriam, and as I said, narrated by Orson Welles.
Oh, I love that. I could not believe when I looked this movie up, it said B. Arthur was uncredited for her scene when she's up with.
Really?
Yeah,
the unemployment as the employment worker. Yeah,
it was like, what do you do? A bullshit artist. Oh, but here you want to hear something interesting. I got to tell you this about it. It was something very funny that happened as my wife and I were watching History of the World Part 1 when we got to the Roman. We saw the V and X, and here's the thing. We had just done for our homeschooling, we taught our kids about Roman numerals. So my wife and I were literally that week, this last week, that was what we taught them, Roman numeral numbers. And literally, as soon as we saw that, we're like, V and X, and my wife was like, 5, and I was like, 5, and then I just lost it. I
5 and 10 cent store. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 and dime.
Of course, we've got to go back to the beginning of the movie with the Stone Age, and the very beginning of the movie. Man, Mel Brooks just goes for it. He has the scene of the ape men, our forefathers, and they we'll try and put this. We'll put this mildly. They're taking care of business.
Yeah. My wife and I were literally just like, she was sewing when we were watching Young Frankenstein, and then she turned around and started watching History of the World Part 1, and she just was like, I thought her mouth was about to drop onto the floor.
And to speaker for the dead, I can see your point, sir. I understand. I do. Me, more often than not, as the old saying goes, humor is subjective. Some people think you're brilliant. Other people think you stink. Me, more often than not, Mel Brooks always makes me laugh. Always, always, always. But yeah, and you have Orson Welles doing all of the narration during the Stone Age and throughout and everything because, well, cavemen don't talk. And then, of course, you have the origin of music. And it's a caveman dropping a rock on another caveman's foot. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. People are going to come in thinking, what in the world is this guy doing? But yeah, the other thing about History of the World, I love the part with the French Revolution.
Oh, absolutely.
Can we just end up?
King.
Sir,
I thought you were the piss boy.
Well, you look like
the Queen.
Oh, and to the chat. Greetings, X and our Comics. Thank you, sir, for stopping by. Thank Trey. It's good to see you, sir. Hope you can stick around for a little bit. Hope you enjoy the stream. but yeah, the French Revolution scene, which actually is kind of the end of the movie. This is where Mel Brooks just absolutely brings out all the stops. We'll get back to the Roman Empire period and everything in a little bit. Huh?
We have to talk about the Roman Empire.
We will get to. You know what? Let's do the Roman Empire because we'll try and do this in order.
Yeah, that'll make more sense.
Yeah, it will make more sense. The Roman Empire part, where you've got
wait. You forgot the Ten Commandments. We got to do that part.
15.
These 15.
15.
The Lord Jehovah, the Lord Almighty has given us these 15. These 10 commandments for all to obey.
I know it's a quick, but it is still
it's hilarious.
It's like, who would have thought to do a parody of the Ten Commandments and just put it smallly like that?
Well, but here's the thing: if anybody's going to do it,
it's going to be Mel Brooks.
It's going to be Mel Brooks, but remember, Mel Brooks is Jewish, so if anybody can poke fun at it and not really get a whole lot of flack thrown his way, it would be Mel Brooks.
But he did it so that was good.
He did. He so did. He
did. 10. Okay, now we can go to Rome.
Okay. The Roman Empire. Rome. Cradle of civilization. Rome. Plumbing. Indoor plumbing. Literally pipe the crap right out of your house. Literally crap. And then, of course, we kind of talked about this, but I love the scene with the unemployment line.
Yeah.
What's your occupation? What's your occupation?
Gladiator.
I'm a gladiator.
Did you kill anybody?
Like, did you kill anybody last week? No.
No.
Did you try to kill anybody last week? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
And you only got 2 weeks left, and then you have to kill someone.
We're gonna have to change your status.
Yes.
And then, of course, you've got
Mel Brooks.
Swiftest Lazarus. Oh no. What's the name of Mel Brooks's character? Darn it.
Comicus.
Homicus?
No, the biggest Dickus is one of the troops. It's the general of the Roman Legion.
That was Life of Brian. That was Life of Brian.
Oh, that was Life of Brian. My bad. Okay.
Yeah. I have a friend named Biggest Dickus in Rome.
Okay, my bad. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. For heaven's sakes, what is the name of Mel Brooks' character as a philosopher, the stand-up philosopher?
I thought his name was Comicus.
Yes,
I thought it was
Comicus. Thank you. What's your occupation? I am a stand-up philosopher. A what? I take the ether of human experience and craft it into a coherent thing. And B. Arthur's like, oh, you're a bullshit artist. He's like, did you try the bullshit last week? No. Did you bullshit last week? No. You tried the bullshit? No. And then, of course, his agent comes in. He's like, I got you the main room at Caesar's Palace. He's like, the main room. Oh, and to
the other's like, you don't need this. Clip.
He's like, I had the money in my hand. Money. And Kathia Starr, good evening. And she's trying to drop some real history on us. I do appreciate it. Pompeii had indoor plumbing, so did Carthage, but before it was salted. Yeah. Thank you, Kathie. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your stay and everything. I hope you enjoy the stream, obviously. But yeah, the whole Roman scene and everything, that was just, it was brilliant. And you've got Madeline Kahn as Empress Nympho.
No.
Empress Nympho.
And when the slaves is like, the eunuchs. We will see. Oops.
Yeah. Gregory Hines as Josephus. I love Gregory Hines in this movie. I think this is the only time that he did a Mel Brooks movie, and he was wonderful in this film as Josephus. Everything. He's like a little sham for the Ethiopian shin sham dance.
Ethiopian shim.
Yeah, I mean, Gregory Hines was wonderful in this film. You're welcome, Kate. Yeah. But yeah, and then of course you've got Miriam, the Vestal Virgin, and Madeline Kahn as Empress Info. And she's like, "What are you doing out of the palace? You're not supposed to be out of the palace. You know the rule about Vestal Virgins. They're not supposed to be out of the palace unescorted." And then of course you've got the scene and everything with Madeline Kahn and one of her handmaidens and everything, and they're picking the her guard and everything for the midnight orgy.
Yeah. What was it? It said orgy. Oh yes, sir. First come.
Yeah, and then of course you have a cameo by Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
He's like,
yes,
it's a brand new
my
concept.
wife
it's
actually is the one who pointed that out to me. Yes, it's called a centerfold. My wife pointed that. I said, "Was that really Hugh Hefner?" She goes, "Yeah, I think it was." I said,
"Yep."
Okay, I had to go look and see, and I was like, "Shit, that was Hugh Hefner."
Yep. And Brian, you got a new sub. So.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you, Finna.
Thank you.
See, you come on the Ambassadorial wing, you get new subs.
Excellent. Yeah, I just put out a couple starts my last book.
So. But yeah, and the whole chase scene with Comicus and Josephus and Miriam going through the palace and everything, and they're out on the streets, and they're like, the streets are literally crawling with soldiers, and you see the soldiers crawling down the street on their bellies.
Yeah,
it was just it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
What about when those two fought, where they were fighting with each other?
Oh yeah. Comicus and Josephus there in the main room, and they've unintentionally offended Caesar. And Comicus is like, "Man, when you die at the palace, you really die at the palace."
Oh, that's right, because he was making the fat jokes. Don't make the fat jokes.
Get off fat. Get off fat
jokes.
And you're just like, oh man. And I mean, and he makes comments about the government, how corrupt it is. And he's like, citizen bribes us councilman bribes a senator bribes X, and it goes all the way up to the emperor. And he's like, Dom DeLuise as Caesar was like, was he talking about me?
Yeah.
And of course the announcer. Oh man, you know the one thing I just realized about History of the World Part 1, there is no way they could get away with making that movie today.
Oh, that would be most of his movies.
I know. There is no way they could have made History of the World Part 1, particularly the Roman scene, and even the part with the French Revolution.
Mm.
No way they have gotten away with this movie now. But I'm so glad he made it when he did, because we've got it for posterity. And of course, to anybody who comes across this stream and we talk about it, they'll be like, "Ooh, History of the World Part 1. I want to go see this."
It is. Oh man! So, Ambassador, I was. I don't know. I think I was on Twitter or Facebook. I don't remember which one it was. And it was like, during this, here are the comedies you should watch. 7 comedies, and I saw this list. I'm not going to go through the list. Let's just say, it was literally just a very mishmash, jumbled list. Nobody paid attention to what they were even thinking when they put it together. And I'm like, I'm just like, my God, I just watched 2 comic gold movies
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, and I'm like, "You're talking about movies? Yeah, I've seen some of them. They're funny." But to be honest with you, I'll watch History of the World Part 1 probably 10, 20,000 times more than I will watch The Hangover again.
Yeah, because
totally laugh.
You get where I'm going there? Comedy
Mhm.
is there is comedy that is funny when you watched it, and then there's comedy like Abbott and
That's-
Costello's Who's on
it's
First.
timeless. It's timeless. It's truly timeless. It lasts. It endures.
Yeah.
It doesn't become. It may grow old by age, but it does not become dated. It's timeless. It always retains its humor. And Mel Brooks's movies, by and large, have done that. I mean, let's see here. When was this made? 1981. History of the World Part 1, 1981. And people still talk about it. I mean, because it's a Mel Brooks film. It's one of his earliest movies. And it's just, it was like lightning caught in a bottle. It just, it sticks with you. It's got so many great moments. It's got so many great actors and actresses in it. And Mel Brooks just absolutely created a piece of comedy gold for us. And he's in his 90s now, and he's not making movies anymore. But you know what? He has had such a great career. It has lasted so long. And yeah, speaking for the dead.
That man is just going to go down in cinema history.
He will. I'm pretty sure
he's one of the few. I think there's only 7 or 8. There could be more, but don't quote me on it. Just remember, when I was looking up his biography one time, he is one of only a few people to ever get an Oscar, a Tony, and an Emmy. There's only been a few have ever gotten all 3 of those. Now, like I said, I think there's only been maybe 7 or 8. Anyway, it's a very, very small list, and he's on it.
Yeah, he really is, because he is that talented. And he started off just as a comedy writer for, I think it was an early comedian. I forget who now. I think it might have been Sid Caesar maybe, or somebody. And he has always brought it. He has absolutely brought it every single time with every movie he's ever done and everything. And we'll touch on just one more thing with History of the World, and then we'll get into something that I think Irish and Brian are familiar with, because I don't want them to feel left out of the conversation here and everything. But the French Revolution scene, where you've got Mel Brooks both as King Louis and as, let's just call him what it is, the piss boy. He's like, Emperor, you look like the piss boy. He's like, well, you look like a bucket of shit. And you got Harvey Korman, one of would soon become one of Mel Brooks's regulars in many of his movies, which one we'll get to in a little bit. As Hedley Lamar. It's not Hetty, it's Hedley Lamar. Why do you care? This is 1874. You can sue her. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But you've got Harvey Korman as the Count de Money. It's De Monet.
Count de Money.
De Monet. Simonet, Emonet, whatever. But yeah, it's just you got to love this. You got to love that whole revolution scene. Okay. With Cloris Leachman as one of the leaders of the revolution, and they have that meeting there. He's like, we are beggars, begging from beggars, and then you got all the vendors staying there in the street. Rats for sale, yummy, delicious rat is good for rat stew, rat pudding, and the famous ratatouille. Apple cores, I've got apple cores for sale. And then you've got the last vendor. Nothing. I have absolutely nothing for sale. And he goes begging to one of the other beggars. And then, of course, you've got the chess scene. You've got the chess scene with the human chess pieces. And you have the very inappropriate joke where all the chess pieces decide to, jump the queen. So, Brian, anything? I feel like I've been monopolizing the conversation. Your thoughts on history of the world, or at least that part of history of the world with the French Revolution.
No, my favorite part is when you just talked about it, where everybody jumps the queen. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. The other part that I liked was the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh, yes, Torquemada. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Inquisition, what a show!
Inquisition, here we go.
Get your wish,
that we go away. But the Inquisition's here and it's here to stay.
But it's definitely and then the last part of the Roman Empire when they're evading the Romans and they light the big old joint off the back of the horse carriage.
We are now armed with mighty joint, Roman red.
But that was
there is no way in the world they could have done this movie today.
No. Well, certainly aspects of it, I'm sure, but no.
Yeah, there's Fiddle Wolf, good one. Yeah, and the opening of the Spanish Inquisition musical number. Torquemada, do not beg him for mercy. Torquemada, do not ask him for compassion. Torquemada, do not implore him for remorse. Let's face it, you can't talk Torquemada out of anything.
Can't talk him out of anything. Oh, the name of the horse was Miracle.
Say one more time, Brian.
The name of the horse was Miracle.
Yeah.
We need a miracle. And then the horse comes in.
Yeah, it saves them at the end and everything with there in the French Revolution scene.
Yeah, that was one of the funnier parts right there at the end, was where he just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's with this Lazarus and Josephus and
we
Miriam.
need a miracle. Miracle. I was like, whoa, where'd that? I was like, all right.
And Kathy, I hope you enjoyed Flash Gordon. I know I have on numerous occasions. Stone Loki had a Flash Gordon watch party earlier this evening and everything, and I was there for a little bit on it and everything, and I was like, I don't have to watch this movie. I know exactly what they're seeing, and I can just participate without watching it. But anyway,
which Flash Gordon? The
1980s, the one with Sam Jones and Max. Yeah, with Queen doing the soundtrack. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other thoughts on History of the World Part 1 before we move on?
Honestly, I'm just going to say one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and I, for the first time, saw it yesterday. So I thank you for putting this together, because it was like, well, I'm on lockdown. I might as well, and we're doing this. I'm like, I need to watch some of these movies. So,
okay. Stories, Brian. A movie y'all are familiar with, or anything, your input for us to discuss.
You can go Irish if you want. I think the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's some movies I didn't realize that he had directed, to be honest. Like Little Rascals, for example. I didn't realize he had directed that movie.
Yeah, it had Donald Trump in it.
Did it?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, honestly,
You are
I
the
did not.
best son money can buy.
I honestly didn't see Little Rascals or anything. I was thinking more of his spoof comedies or anything more than anything.
Well, he
and-
also did Disney's Robots,
really?
which had Robin Williams in it.
Yeah, that
Doing
one
the
I've
drill
seen. So, well, if it's okay, guys, I'll pick the next one for us.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, stories.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's do Young Frankenstein. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has everybody
It's
seen Young
probably-
Frankenstein? I know, Jesse, you have stories. Brian, have you seen Young Frankenstein?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I might have.
It has, well, it's basically a spoof of the old Frankenstein movies, the old monster movies.
Yeah.
It's got Gene Wilder, Terry Garr, it's got Madeline Kahn, Peter Boyle, what's his name? Cloris Leachman, the guy who did
Igor.
Harvey Feldman. That was it.
The
This was
damn
actually-
movie had Gene Hackman in it too.
Yes, it did. Yeah, he played the monk. He played the blind
I
monk.
was like, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I was like, my wife and I were at that point in the movie, and I'm going to the casting. I'm like, I saw Gene Hackman. Wait a minute, when was Gene Hackman in this movie? I go tell my wife. She's like, "You're fucking kidding me." Hey, Loki.
Hey, Loki.
Hey, Loki. Welcome, sir. Glad you decided to pop in. I hope the watch party went well. So, but yeah, Young Frankenstein. This was a movie my mother actually introduced me to as a young kid. And I was just like, holy cow. This is the greatest thing ever. She's like, you like it? I was like, yeah, I like it. Absolutely like it. Love it to death. Love this movie. Have just watched the ever loving crap out of it. And I loved the comedy. I loved the cast. I loved everything about it. It was just, and it was a spoof of old monster movies, well, in particular Frankenstein, which I loved and everything. And this was not so much. This was a movie that Mel Brooks did not write. This is a book. This is a movie that he directed. It was Gene Wilder who actually wrote the screenplay for it. And I was just like, the first time I watched it, me and my mom, I was like, holy cow, this is so funny. So, Loki, check your DMs, bud, if you're able. If you can't, it's all good, but check your DMs. So, but yeah, Young Frankenstein has been one of those films that has been a constant throughout my life, and how hilarious it is, and just how consistently funny and timeless. Yes, Kathia, that's a good illustration. Very Addams Family-esque. Yeah, it is.
They do what they want.
Because
Say what they want to say. Dance what they want to dance. They want to play dance.
Yeah.
The Addams Family.
MC
Yeah.
Hammer, man.
Yeah.
but this movie for me was one of the earliest comedies of Mel Brooks, and just one of the earliest comedies in period that I ever watched as a kid. And I latched onto this, and I was like, this will always be a favorite of mine. This will always be funny. Yes, Brian.
Oh, nothing. I was doing the too legit to quit.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh man, yeah, you're bringing back my my junior high school days. So, but yeah, Young Frankenstein and Frau Blucher. What did this woman do to those horses? What did she do to those poor horses? I mean, seriously. It's really highlights of the dark refrain. Yeah. I don't know exactly follow you, Kathia, but okay. So, but yeah, guys, your thoughts on Young Frankenstein?
It's a pretty good movie for the most part. I've only seen it a few times. I most recently watched it the other day on it was on YouTube. Man, I honestly I just really like Gene Wilder as an actor. Phenomenal, and just the way he did it, and it's not Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein. And then Igor is Igor. I mean, it's just things like that. It's definitely one of those movies that's lasted a long time.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, you good, Brian? You mind if I say anything?
Go for it, man.
Okay. That particular as the ambassador knows, a lot of my movie history and appreciation comes from my grandmother. I was down in my grandmother had this basement area that was full of all these VHS movies. And so I would watch a lot of these movies. One of the things that was one of my all-time favorites is my favorite genre. Classic horror like Frankenstein, Them, Creature from Another, The Thing from Another Planet, all those classic horror movies like that. And this was just the most fun parody I could have ever seen. My favorite, I like my 80s horror movies. I don't like the torture porn, and I don't like that kind of crap. That's not slashers. And it's fun, but I like more the more classic black and white horror movies. That's really where my love of it is. So this to make just so many fun jokes and just to realize who's all in this cast. The guy from the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond. The
Pierre Boyle.
Yeah. Oh my God, that scene with him and Gene Wilder doing that dance. I was just like, my wife was even my wife actually is a tap dancer. So, well, not professionally, but yeah, she is a tap dancer. So she actually was kind of going along with it. I kind of watch her feet, and she was kind of doing her little tap thing she was doing while it was going. It was very humorous. The fact that Gene Hackman was like, now I'm never going to get over the fact that I heard Gene Hackman actually say, I was going to make espresso. I don't think I'm ever going to get over it. I think I'm now going to say that's probably the funniest thing I've ever heard Gene Hackman say. And I mean, I'm talking about the guy who played Lex Luthor.
I know.
And what was that?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying the greatest criminal mind of our age.
I thought it was greatest criminal mastermind, but yeah. And just the fun of it. I love the fact that he did it in black and white. I think that was perfect. Color would have in my mind been a bad choice. So he had the right idea for the tone, but he knew he really understood humor and I guess cinema to a way he could and also think about this. While he used similar tropes at different times throughout his movies, if you really think about it, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Notice he never did the same comedy twice.
No.
Every comedy is different. Every parody is different. Every parody, there may be certain things he tropes in the same way. But one of his nice subtleties is, like I said, when I was talking about, what was it? Brain dispensary after 5 slide through, panel. And Igor puts his hand through there. And it's just It was funny. Also, that we didn't talk about this about Men in Tights, but remember how
Mm-hmm.
Prince John's mole would move back and forth, and then now you're watching this movie. I'm like, now this makes sense why Igor every now and again his hump moves back and forth, and he
He's
has
like-
a fun time breaking the fourth wall. He's like, there, wolf, there, castle. Why are you talking?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to talk like that. No. Okay, I'm easy.
Yeah, Marty Feldman. Sadly, he died way too soon, and we lost a great comedian and everything in him, from what I understand. I haven't seen a lot of his stuff except for this movie. But yeah, the great thing about this, as you were saying, Jess, everything with the color choice. Originally, they were going to start out black and white and then transition it to color, but Mel Brooks fought tooth and nail to make sure that this movie stayed all black and white, and the editor and the cinematographer were like, okay,
Mhm.
this is what you want. This is what we'll give. This is what we'll give you. And the studio was behind Brooks and Wilder and everything, because, like I said, Wilder wrote the script for this, and this has Gene Wilder's comedy genius all over it. Here's a funny story and everything. If you haven't had a chance to watch the features and everything on Young Frankenstein, and there was this conversation between Brooks and Wilder, and there's this one particular scene. I actually think it's the song and dance number in the movie, and Brooks is saying, no, we're not putting this in. We are not putting this in. Wilder is coming back and he's like, I want this in the movie. And he's trying every shade of red that you can think of. And then Brooks is like, okay, it stays in. It stays in. He's like, I didn't know how much you would fight for it. But he's like, now that I see how much you'll fight for it, it stays in. And Wilder's like, I could have killed him in that moment. And I hope I'm not to anybody from the Wilder estate out there. I hope I'm not misrepresenting your loved one's thoughts or anything. I think I've getting it accurately. So please don't attack me. I'm just a little YouTube channel. I'm doing my best to present all this material as accurately as possible. But Gene Wilder as Victor Frankenstein, the great grandson of Old Man Frankenstein, the original Dr. Frankenstein. He was masterful in this film. He was. And
what about that scene at the beginning too?
Oh, with Madeline Kahn?
No, the whole point when he's trying to get the box out of the crypt.
Oh, well, that wasn't Victor. That was Gerhard Volkstein.
Yeah.
Who was the executor of the Frankenstein estate? Kathia, yeah, thank you. Good one. Flip the switch, Kronk. Not that switch. Wrong switch, Kronk. Yeah. Well, here's a fun fact. All of the equipment that's there in the laboratory in Castle Frankenstein and everything that they used to create the creature is the same equipment that they used in the old Frankenstein movies.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
All of it. Every drop of that equipment had been maintained for all those years, and Brooks and the producers and everybody were able to get a hold of the guy that kept it up and maintained it. They're like, "Can we use it for this film?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can use it. Sure."
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it was a nice little through line and everything. Even though this was a spoof of the original Frankenstein movies, they still wanted to have a touch of authenticity for the film, and this was a perfect way. This was one of those ways to do it. Here's another fun fact, or anything for those of you who may not know it: the scene where they're up on the roof of the castle and they're trying to bring the creature to life. they'd actually done a whack. They had done a plaster cast or whatever of Pierre Boyle's head, and then somebody had done a sculpture of it and had put wiring and lighting and everything in it so that it would glow. It would radiate light and everything when the electricity is going through the creature's body. So I didn't know if y'all were aware of that or not, but there's a little piece of cinema knowledge for you as well. So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. But of course, you've got the love story between Victor and Madeline Kahn's character. I can't Elizabeth. And then of course you got Terry Garr as the assistant. What's the name of the assistant? Jesse, help me out here.
I'm trying. It's something. Something. I can't remember now.
You mean it's not Igor?
No, not Argor.
No, it's not Igor.
Elevate. Oh no! Yes,
Elevate.
take me up. Oh.
She thought, and of course the scene at the beginning where she's like, "Would you like a roll on the hay, doctor?"
Hey.
What?
And I was literally just
the hay.
Yeah. I was like, why does this girl look so familiar to me? And
it's Terry Garr.
Inga,
thank you.
Elevate
me, Inga.
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny because my wife was like, at first she was talking about. My wife knew the name of the character. She already knew her the actor's name, and then I was looking her up because I was clicking through, the links on Wikipedia for that, and it was like, now I figured out why she was so familiar to me for the first time because of how young she looked, and that was because I remembered her from Star Trek's Assignment Earth. I think that was what it was called, Assignment Earth. And it was it was the one with Charlie. Was it Charlie X or something? She was the assistant.
Oh, I did not know that.
She was the assistant in the Star Trek 8. Yeah, she was the. She was the one, not the one who played the cameo of the cat in human form. No, she was the actual assistant, the secretary. So that was her.
Roberta Lincoln, I think it was, or something.
Oh, I don't
something remember. Lincoln.
And she was the mom in Mr. Mom.
Yeah, that's the role I knew from. That's the role I knew her for was the wife in Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. Is what I knew her from. But yeah, of course.
Also, she was Terry McGinnis's mother in the Batman Beyond series.
Oh, did she do the voice?
She did the voice of Terry McGinnis's mother.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing what you find when you got time on your hands.
Yeah, obviously.
And we have a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah, unfortunately. So unfortunately we do, yeah. But but yeah, this
everything
film,
about that movie was funny as hell.
It was. Are you telling me that I put an abnormal brain into a 8-foot-tall, 200-pound gorilla? You ruined me. You ruined me, Igor. I'll kill you.
Like 3 words. 3.
Say again. Say again.
3 words. Say it. Just the. I don't know how they managed to put that kind of just comic book genius together, or not comic book genius. I'm sorry, comic genius.
Comedic genius. Yeah.
Yes, comedic. It's just funny. So, but like they taught us dignity and grace. You son of a bitch! You brought me out. Dignity and. Igor is just the best. I think he was my favorite.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Dignity and grace, huh?
Oh, Shea, thank you. Yeah, I almost forgot about that one. She was also in Close Encounters. She was the wife in Close
Yeah,
Encounters
she
of the
was
Third
Richard
Kind.
Titus's wife. Oh, that is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Thank you, Shaya. Good job.
Crap, now
Appreciate
I need to watch
that. That's
Now I need
why
to watch
you're
that
my,
movie.
that's why you're mother of moderators. So, well, guys, any other thoughts on Young Frankenstein before we move on?
Cinematic masterpiece.
Yes, I would wholeheartedly agree. Well,
Needs to go in the Library of Congress if it ain't already.
it should be. It absolutely should be. Every single one of Mel Brooks' movies should be in the Library of Congress. Yep.
But it's like I was looking at one of the interesting things about it was when I was going through as I was looking at his movies was I realized he does a genre and then he moves on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't, I mean, literally he just goes from one to another to another to another, and I think the only genre I don't think ever really did a parody of was a sports genre.
No, he didn't. No.
Oh man, that would have been good.
Can you imagine? Wow. A spoof of a sports movie by Mel Brooks.
Actually, just think about what Mel Brooks could come up with just what's going on these days. If he was 40, 50 years, younger with the talent he has to do it now. I mean, obviously he's 90 plus. The man has given us gold. I don't want any more from him.
He has done us a great service. What he has already given. He should spend the remainder of his years just
enjoying
living out
family,
living out his twilight, spending time with his family, spending time with his son, his grandkids, and just that's enough. And thank you, Mel. You've done the world a great service with all the comedy you have brought us. One other thing I'll bring up about Young Frankenstein before we move on. The scene and everything at the very end with after the brains are swapped. Well, you gave him stability, Doctor. What did he give you? And Inga's like, she's singing the song after the monster has had his way with Elizabeth, and kind of turned her head all around in a matter of speaking.
You would not. That is a scene you would not have gotten past today.
No way.
No way. That whole scene between Peter Doyle and her, where he just basically exposes himself to her, and she's like, "Well, I'm a wolf," and it's like, no, and then she's like, just starts singing a song, and then you see them with the cigarette afterwards, and that scene right there would have been all over Twitter after the preview.
How dare he? How dare he do a scene like that? How dare he? Like,
you just could not get away with a lot of, and the sad part is we shouldn't be able to say get away with. The man just knew how to make
it
people
was
laugh.
Funny. It was meant as a joke. It was meant for laughs. It was not meant to be woke. It wasn't meant to be anything. It was essentially a penis joke.
And the monster got the girl.
Yeah, the monster got the girl. Of course, I think Victor got the better girl. Because honestly, Elizabeth was a bit of a stick in the mud. Inga was
No. I think what happened was once she got with the monster, she was like, she finally let her hair up. Kind of like Mark.
Literally. Do you like what I've done with my hair, darling? He's like, and then of course, Victor got a certain gift from the monster himself. and you're like, well, they're gonna have a happy marriage.
Well, remember what he said when he was talking about he might have to be well, and she was like, woof, and then Igor was like, he's going to be popular with the ladies.
He's going to be very popular. And Inga says, you'll have an enormous Schwanzstücke. And Igor's like, he'll be very popular.
Oh, and the guy who played the inspector.
Oh, Kim.
You can't forget about him. He was just. I mean, they used him as a battering ram for crying out loud.
1, 2, 3, wham! 1, 2, 3,
No, it's
wham!
Ein,
Hey, right, Zeitung.
And remember, his German accent was so thick that even the villagers couldn't understand him.
Huh? What? Yeah. Okay. Stories?
Yes.
You want to pick one?
How about Dracula Dead and Loving It? Since
Sure,
we're
why
on
not?
snooze here.
Yes. Yeah. And
That was the modern horror era of that time.
yeah. So, and why don't you take the lead on that and everything, so I can take a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I mean, obviously, yeah. It's I haven't seen it in like forever though, but I'm being reminded of it by some of the pictures, and it's freaking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mel Brooks. He played Van Helsing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He played Van Helsing. Yeah.
And
I do remember that.
And you see familiar faces from Men in Tights. Amy Asbeck was also Mrs. Harker.
Mina. Yeah.
Mina Harker. Yep.
Mhm.
And who else was it? There was somebody else.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
I'm trying to cheat here by looking it up.
Don't feel bad. So am I.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was Tracy Ullman again. That was also in it.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the same person that played Broomhild in it.
I don't remember the name of that actress, but I'm getting ready to pull it up here in just a second. So
Yeah.
don't feel bad. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you had Leslie Nielsen as Dracula. You had Pierre McNichol, who actually played Janos in Ghostbusters 2 as Renfield. You had Steven Weber as Harker. You had Mel Brooks, as you mentioned, as Van Helsing.
Mm-hmm.
You had Amy Asbeck as Mina. You had Lisette Anthony as Lucy Westenra. You had Harvey Korman as Dr. Seward. Let's see, who else was in this? Oh, wow. Those are the main ones. Those are the important ones.
Just because
So.
you've been with my daughter for 5 years doesn't mean you can have your way with her.
I think one of the funny parts that I can actually remember off the top of my head was when they uncovered the coffin, and Van Helsing is having I want to say it's Harker put the stake through the heart of the vampire inside the coffin, and just as he's about to do it, he goes, "Wait!" and he ducks and covers. And for good reason, because if I'm not mistaken, it spouted out like freaking Mount Vesuvius.
Yeah, that was one thing I did remember.
Well, how did you do? How did you know? I've been to a lot of stakings. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a spoof of the Bram Stoker Dracula that Francis Ford Coppola had done a number of years ago.
Yeah.
And that honestly was a good. I think that was probably one of the better interpretations of
Bram
the
Stoker's Dracula is my favorite Dracula movie.
Ditto. Although I will say I do still love the Bela Lugosi one. I know it's campy.
Of course.
I know it's cheesy.
You can't put down the classics.
No, but yeah, the one by Francis Ford Coppola with Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. Yeah, I love that one absolutely. Yes. And of course, you've got Leslie Nielsen, one of the great comedic actors of our time and everything. I mean, he played Peter Detective Drebin in the Naked Gun movies. He played the Doctor in the first Airplane film, and he's just had. He has had a great career, more or less, or anything. I know he hasn't done a lot in the last several years, but the movies he did, they including Dracula, Dead and Loving It, he absolutely nailed it as Dracula. And I love the fact that this as far as I can recall, they didn't do the aged makeup. They kept his look they kept his look consistent and everything.
Yeah, they had him wearing a wig.
Did he?
I
Did
remember he pops it off in the movie at some point.
Okay.
And it's so funny. It's just like pop. And it's like,
You got
wait,
a
what?
weird head, man.
Kind of like
let's
one of those
not-
patterned wigs from the old days he had on.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's not forget either, Ambassador. He was actually literally, by all accounts, one of the first starship captains most of us would could equate to when you think of Forbidden Planet.
Yes. I have got to get that movie. Dang it.
Yes, you do.
Well, I don't know. I love that movie. I don't own it, and I need to. I love that movie.
No, I
Love
mean,
that
I'm
movie.
saying it. Well, how can you not love it?
Yeah,
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
but
Ooh, feedback.
but Dead loving it. He's like, I'm. Look at me, Renfield. I'm out here eating chicken. I'm in the sunlight. Okay.
What was that?
It was Dracula coming in from the other side. Sorry, Count. Sorry, Count. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome. They may be talking about you, but you're not welcome.
I hear knocking, but you can't come in.
But yeah, and I think it's Renfield reveals to him, Count, you're still you're still a vampire. You're still allergic to sunlight. And he starts smoking, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get back to my coffin. Gotta get back to my coffin. Gotta go." Oh yeah, Speaker. I think I've seen that in some of the videos you've done. I think I've seen that poster.
Renfield.
Yeah, Peter McNichol as Renfield. I think that was a great casting choice. Loki, thank you, appreciate that. But I'm one of the crazy ones. I like physical copy, but I can probably get it off Amazon for physical copy. So, but yeah, Dracula and Dead loving it. I've not seen it all that many times. That's why I was letting others take the lead on this one and everything. Well, I was letting you take the lead on it, Irish.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while, but when I was looking at some of the pictures from it, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
He's a late fagger.
Yeah. So, any other?
Buddy.
All right, Kathia, you stay safe. If you can pop back in, great, and everything. Thank you for being here, dear. It's always a pleasure. But any other thoughts on Dracula before we move on?
It is probably obviously not his best, but
Yeah.
in all reality, it's still it may go down as one of his. If you're gonna say it's one of his worst movies, I'm gonna be honest with you. If that's one of his worst movies, then he did pretty damn good when the chips were down, because it's still a funny ass movie.
Oh
it's
yeah.
still better than some of
some other comedies that we've gotten. Yeah.
Not even that. Some of Leslie Nielsen's much later comedy spoofs. I mean, he lost it. I mean, after the Naked Guns and stuff, just the comedy spoofs. Just he was in. I don't know if he was just trying to get a paycheck, because it was just a lot of times just really bad.
They weren't his best work. Yeah.
Impression.
Say that again, Brian.
You kind of had that impression towards the end.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Which is
He's like, I'm phoning this. He was phoning shit in.
Yeah, he was.
Hey man, do you blame him though?
No, not for the movies that he was doing those for. I would, considering how crappy they were, I wouldn't have given my all for them either.
Yeah,
I would agree with that one. Well, we'll transition from one of his lesser known ones. So I think one that I think everybody knows. He rode a blazing saddle. He wore a shining star. I'm assuming everybody has seen Blazing Saddles. Irish, Brian, Jess.
Not 100%.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Irish, you've never seen
I said I'm not 100%. You gotta give me a moment.
How can you not have seen Blazing Saddles?
Hey,
It's been
hey,
out since it's
I
been
only
out
just
since the
recently saw
'70s.
what I so is Young Frankenstein. I just saw that yesterday. Sorry, I'm coming to the
And
ladies.
I'm still wrapping
I
my head around
appreciate
that
it.
one. How can you not
I'm
seen Young Frankenstein or
sorry.
Blazing Saddles?
I'm sorry. I'm an old fashioned man. I come to the woman's defense.
And I appreciate it because I get shit on a
Well,
lot.
I'm not being mean towards Irish or anything.
I know
Far
you're
from it.
not.
She knows that.
No,
She knows
I know.
that. But wow, okay. Well, Jess, Brian, have you seen Blazing Saddles? I'm hoping here.
Yes.
I've seen Blazing Saddles a million times.
Okay, all right, good.
I haven't
Jess,
seen it that many times, but I have seen it quite a few times.
Well, not a
Okay.
million times, but
Yeah, a lot.
I
Okay.
love Gene Wilder is just one of my favorites. Let me put it this way: the best comic duo I ever saw in when we're talking R-rated comedy is him and Pryor. Just
Yeah,
comic,
I
just
wholeheartedly.
comic platinum right there.
See no
They were
a silver streak. See no evil, hear no
Yeah,
evil.
no
When
evil.
one's blind and one's deaf. And I think
There.
it's Gene Wilder who's the blind guy, and Richard Pryor is deaf.
No, the other way
I'm
around.
pretty sure.
No,
Was it the other way around?
It was the other way around.
Okay.
And Richard Pryor is
Well,
always trying to get laid throughout the movie.
Okay. Well. No. And been a wolf and everything. Yeah. Then yeah. And yeah, I think that's pretty much a consensus across the board, speaker. Absolutely. Yeah, there is no way in the hell.
Not a no.
No way in hell Blazing Saddles could be made today. It was,
Mel Brooks has been,
and
saying
even for
that
its
for a
time,
long
it
time.
was like, they were pushing the envelope on that sucker. The only reason they got away with half the humor that they did was because they had Richard Pryor working on the script. For heaven's sake, him and a couple other people and everything were working on the script for the movie, and he was the one. Pryor was the one that wrote a lot of the racier humor. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, a little more risque.
Yeah, the very risque and the somewhat well, as several people have said, this is a movie that punched racism in its face and made it look absolutely ridiculous. Trey, thank you. Appreciate it. You have a good night, young man. Take it easy. Be safe out there.
Oh God, that movie is just. There is so much. I mean, you're talking raunchy humor, with just like 2 notches below what you would think you should get away with, and then 10 notches above what they did get away with.
Yeah. See now that I'm looking at the pictures, I might have seen it, like in parts, but otherwise I didn't really care for it because I'm not much of a Western fan.
Yeah, but this is a Western. It's a comedy. It's a spoof of Westerns.
Well, yeah, but
you need to sit down and watch it through at least once, Irish. You really
okay,
do.
I will endeavor to do that.
At least once.
It's definitely one to watch at least once.
Yeah. Well, actually, this was another one that my mother introduced me to and everything when Blockbuster was still a thing. And we were going through the classic movie section, and I was sitting on a shelf, and I was like, Mom, you ever seen Blazing Saddles? She's like, yeah. I mean, your dad watched it on a few occasions. I was like, is it any good? She's like, go ahead and rent it.
See, your mom sounds a lot like my grandmother when my grandmother would take me to Blockbuster. It didn't matter if the movie was RPG, whatever. My grandmother would almost let me pick just about any movie, with very few exceptions. There were a few, but they were usually probably something that was more closer to a softcore porn. But anything else was pretty much fair game for me to watch.
Yeah. But yeah, we rented it and we got home
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I was dying of laughter. I laughed my ass off through that whole darn movie. I mean, the beginning, they start off with a racist joke. Dock that bleep 5 cents pay. What in the wide world of sports is going on around here? I expect y'all to get some track leg, not jump around like a bunch of Kansas City efforts.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And it's Slim Pickens. Stories, it's Slim Pickens who says that line.
Oh.
Oh God.
He's like, we got time to send the horses down the end of the line. Dummy, just send a couple of ends down the end of the line. I'm using the first layer to keep myself from getting by YouTube or
Yeah.
anybody else.
That's kind
I
of
kind
hard
of
one
figured.
He's
to
like,
use a
yeah,
lot in that movie.
Yeah, and
Huh?
yeah, and unfortunately, YouTube has what is it? The anti. Oh, don't say those trigger words.
mhm.
Yeah.
Pansy.
Speaker, you
Trigger?
take care.
We don't
Thank
need
you
no
for being here.
triggers.
And of course,
We don't need no stinking badges.
where are the white women at?
Oh God.
Oh, wait a minute. That scene where he's like, what is that you're chewing? Gum? Did you break enough for everybody? No,
He's
I
like,
didn't think I.
no.
Boom. I can't stand selfishness. It's just like what?
And of course, the cast for this movie is absolutely, positively legendary. Legendary. Cleavon Little, of course, Gene Wilder. Once again, Madeline Kahn. Once again, Harvey Korman, Slim Pickens. Dom DeLuise makes a cameo at the end. And you've got the guy who played Higgins. You've got Foster Brooks. You've got for heaven's sake, it was the actor that played Santa Claus in the Santa Claus movie from the 1980s, who was one of the townspeople.
Oh, I remember. I know who you're talking about now because I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. Welcome to Woke Skull Entertainment, where everybody's miserable.
Oh,
There once was a peaceful town called Rock Ridge, where people lived in harmony.
that
There was
is
no
the
sign of trouble. There was no sign of misery. And then
Hey,
once it started, a band of
Ambassador, I think
murderers and
that right
thieves.
there is the quote of the night. Right.
What? Oh, Finna?
Yeah, I think that is the quote of the night right there.
I agree. Finna, you get the reward for the evening. You get the good gold star and the cookie for comment of the evening. Well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, steady as rock. Okay, how about I hold it up here? Steady as a rock. Yeah, but I shoot with this hand. The Waco kid, I knew you just pulled my lariat. And the first time Cleavon Little goes through the town, it's like, good morning, man. Ain't it a beautiful morning? Up yours. And he's sitting there with the Waco kid. Well, some people call me Jim, but other people call me Jim. And he's sitting there with the Waco kid. He's like, what did you expect to happen? Make yourself at home? Marry my daughter? These people are the common clay of the New West. You know, morons.
Oh man.
I mean, Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder were so perfect in this film as these two characters, what's his name? Dang it, but well, Jim and darn it. So this is what it feels like to be Cenk Uygur who goes blank. Oh, for heaven's sakes, what's the name? Oh man, what was the name of Cleavon Little's character from Blazing Saddles?
Ah, dude.
Hold on.
I was about to say, you asking me?
Theory, what was the name of Cleavon Little's character from Blazing Saddles?
Here's what I found.
Hold on.
Apparently
I got
nothing.
it. No, I got it. I got it.
Days when we had to
He
actually
played
look
Bart the
stuff up
sheriff.
in a paper. Go to a library to look this stuff up. Check
Now-
our
Now we do
catalog.
Hey Siri.
He died in 1992. What a shame.
Harumph. Harumph.
Yeah.
Isn't anyone gonna help that poor man? Hey, that's crazy, man. Don't do it, man. I'll shoot him. I'm so smart.
Nobody moves.
Nobody moved.
and they are so dumb. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Haven't I told you to wash up after a lynching? It's like, God dang it. Oh, man.
God.
I need all the
Hey,
muggerers.
boys, look what I
The
found.
muggerers.
Hey, where the white women at?
Okay, I'll try this one more time. Wait a minute, here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
Here we
my
go. Here we go. I got the right. I tapped on the right thing. Come on, help me out here.
Hey, Sheriff Bart.
Thank you. Yeah, Bart. Yeah, Sheriff Bart. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you,
problem.
Brian. You were awesome.
Google.
Yeah, Bart and Jim. What a great duo, honestly. I mean, Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder were so great in this, and they were taken from us way too soon because, as I just said, Cleavon Little died in 1992. I'm like,
Oh,
wow, what
that's-
a bummer. Yeah, he was young.
Did those two ever team up again?
Not that I am aware of.
Oh, man, that is some serious missed opportunities there.
Yeah.
I would like to have, like, the I just said like I sound like AOC now. I would have enjoyed being able to see Wilder and Pryor, and then compare it to Wilder and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm drawing a blank on his name. You just said it.
Cleavon Little.
Yes. That would have been nice to see the comic comparisons between those two.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
more movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, but at least we got Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor together. That was a good match.
Oh yeah.
That was an absolutely brilliant match, I thought. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was just Blazing Saddles. This was absolute comedy gold. This is in my personal top 10 great comedy movies of all time. And it has so many great lines. It has Madeline Kahn as the burlesque dancer, Lily von Stupp, and she's like, "Tell me, Shotzi, is it true what they say about your people that they are equipped?" And you're like, well, this just turned sideways.
Hey, you know what? We didn't even talk about that. The ambassador, the way he was able to instigate sexual jokes was so much better than what we got in those crappy parodies I was complaining about.
Yeah.
Before, where it was
Yeah.
all just straight in your face. He just had a way of where it was like, all right, elevate me. No. Yes. Elevate me to the top. Oh, had a way of making those sexual innuendos. I mean, they're all throughout the movies, but they're just so funny and not they're funny. They're not disgusting.
Yeah. Well, and the other great comedic duo in this movie was obviously Harvey Korman and Mel Brooks as Hedley Lamar and the governor, William J. Lepetamine. And you're like, this has got to be one of the most inept governors I've ever seen in my life. I mean, talk about a picture of current politics. Manner of speaking. You've got, I didn't get a, well, I think it was Jess, you said and everything. He's like, I didn't get a harumph from that guy. He's like, give the governor a harumph. Harumph, harumph, harumph.
Yeah.
He's like, you mind your ass. And then, of course, you've got the scantily clad secretary.
Yep.
And you're like, well, Mr. Brooks, wow, hello. You got, of course, you got a chorus line dancer as your secretary.
It's kind of like channeling President Scroob before the
before there was Scroob. Yeah. When Scroob was in bed with the Doublemint twins. I'm Charlene. Hello, Charlie. I'm Marlene. Chew your gum. But yeah, oh man, this was. Any other thoughts on Blazing Saddles?
I think I'm about talked out now. I mean, I'm already laughing so hard. I might have my son's in front of me right now on my TV playing Fortnite. I'm gonna have to kick him off so I can watch Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, definitely.
I gotta watch Blazing Saddles now. I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, saw Spaceballs and Young Frankenstein and History of the World Part 1. Now, I think I'm gonna have to watch Blazing Saddles right now.
You should. You absolutely should.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're just a little over 2 hours. I think we have had a really good conversation. I appreciate y'all being here. It's been a blast. But I think we've hit the high note. And we're going to end, now we'll end on a high note. And everybody went, oh! Reference back to History of the World Part 1.
Should we take care of the poor or take care of our rich? Fuck the poor.
Should we build? No. You're close. Yeah. Jess, you're close. It's like, should we build affordable housing for the poor or temples to the gods? F the poor.
Good. That movie is. Oh my god! I think that when I think of Blazing Saddles, if I'm going to end on this, to me is up there with my favorite Abbott and Costello movie, the 1990s.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly. Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree.
I would definitely keep those two in the top 10. They are just two funny movies. I mean, it's a funny movie that is just. It's going to stand the test of time, especially now because it's a movie that they're like, we wouldn't let you make this now. It's like, yeah, what does that say about you?
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been a blast. I appreciate y'all being here. To everybody in the chat, to my mods, Shea Storm Dragon, to my brand new mod, Finna Wolf, Kathia Star, Stone Loki for popping in, to Axonar Trade, Axonar Comics. I appreciate y'all popping in. Everybody in the chat, I hope you enjoyed the stream. For those of you that will be catching this on the replay, make sure and subscribe to Brian Hill and Stories by Irish's channels. They do a lot of great stuff. The links are in the chat and everything. Of course, if you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on the films of Mel Brooks and everything. And if you've not seen any of these films, I highly recommend, particularly now while we're all kind of
Going stir crazy.
self-distancing. We're together, but we're together at home and everything. Check these films out because, as I said at the beginning of the stream, laughter is, in some cases, the best medicine that you can get. So,
Amen.
Hey man, I'm telling you, this is the best time for comedy right now.
yes, it is.
And actually good comedy.
Yeah. A couple of notes and everything. For other channels and everything that I try to support, Darth Lunga with the Great Council will be having his stream tomorrow afternoon at 3:00 Central Time, and also Sci-Fi Dragon, who's also another channel that I try to support. He will be celebrating his 200 subscriber celebration stream. He will be reviewing the final cut of Apocalypse Now, so make sure and check him out. I think his stream is at 5 p.m. Central Time and everything. So make sure you stop on over there. And to everybody in the chat, to my wonderful panel, I thank you all very much for being here. Make sure and smash that like.
Don't forget about the merch.
Oh yeah, and I've had that in the crawl and everything. Make sure and go to the Gray Order website, grayistheway.com. We've got merchandise on there and everything, and all the proceeds do go to the Chicago Police Department COVID-19 Relief Fund, and 100% of all proceeds do go to that charity. So make sure and check that out. So, but folks, thank you again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I know I enjoyed bringing it to you all. I will be resuming afternoons with the Ambassador on Monday at 12 p.m. Everything will be continuing my Babylon 5 series review, hopefully with a Dega Outlaw and everything. Hopefully he'll feel up to doing it. So, as always, folks, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is the Ambassador signing off.